Everybody's heard of Dinah in the state of Carolina, but to me there is one finer, yes, yes, she's okay. Caroline from Carolina, she's the sister of old Dinah, and I say there is none finer, oh, no, no, just as pretty as the picture. She's a grand old stubborn mixture. You'd agree if you could meet her. Yes, yes, she's okay. La-da-da-da-da, lovely lady. La-da-da-da-da, swingy baby. La-da-da-da-da, got me crazy. That's not enough. I've got to love her. Caroline from Carolina. Started over poor Dinah. Just to reach there is none finer. Oh, she's okay.
These recordings are being made on tape for Phil Solomon for his archives, Phil?
Archives and posterity.
And posterity. Prostate posterity.
Prostrate?
Or prostrate, whichever case may be.
Fine.
In any case, we're here at my house, me being Milton Freeman, ex-bass player.
And the date is, I believe, September 1963.
September the 1st.
September the 1st.
September 1st, 1963. Okay, now we're going to make some recordings taken of old harmonica records.
That's correct.
On which both you and I appeared.
That's true.
We'll take them in chronological order, so let's start now. This was then known as the Carl Fried Harmonica Band on records, and Carl Fried and his harmonica Harlequins when we played in nightclubs and in vaudeville.
Going back to about 1935, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
Well, we started in April of 1934,
But
if you
these
remember.
recordings were made
The recordings
in
were made in-
approximately 1935.
In the fall, wasn't it? Sometime in October?
I believe so.
All right, now, let's see who was on the record. Mike
Chimes,
Pugliata.
who later became Mike Chimes, played the lead.
Right.
Together with Nat Bergman, the second, and Sam Schechter played the third lead.
Mm-hmm. Then Leon LaFell was playing the polyphonia. You want to amplify on the polyphonia? You were more
Well, the
familiar with it.
polyphonia was a type of instrument like the keyboard on a piano. It just ran from low to high without the necessity of pushing buttons. It was just a string of sound merely by rolling.
The kids have that on a little wax thing.
along there.
Right?
That's exactly correct.
On some of them you could blow in and draw at the same time, get the same note.
You could do the same thing on this.
Well, there were a couple of them where you could only
Polyphonia
blow.
coming, I believe, from the Greek meaning many notes.
Yeah,
many
many
sounds.
is poly, phonious tones.
Yeah, many tones.
All right,
Also,
then.
of course, he was our esteemed singer at the time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Joseph Mullender was by far our most esteemed member of the ensemble because he was our arranger and in many cases our instrumentalist.
Well, he played a good harmonica, by the way,
yes,
and
no doubt.
even a better piano.
Then we had some smell by the name of Phil Solomon, who played what is then known as a chord harmonica, which people used to laugh at because of its exorbitant length. I believe it was about
At least a
3
yard.
feet, 4 feet, yeah, but
And it had every
a
chord.
double-decker.
Well, I believe
And of all of the majors, minors, diminished, and all, no, the majors, the minors, diminished, and all, majors, the minors, the sevenths, and diminished. That's correct. We didn't have augmentus at the
By the
time.
way, Phil, if I remember correctly, you designed the first one. The original design went to Germany to the Hohner outfit,
That's
and then it came back a finished product. Before then, they used to play harmonica on a wheel sort of device. So
That's
you
right.
were actually the designer of the thing.
nice of you to remember.
Anyway, it was me
Except for
playing the
that.
bass such as it was.
Yes, Milt Freeman was our esteemed bass player at the time, and
All
a very
right.
good one.
Let's
for
get to
his
the
day.
music then, shall we?
By all means.
All right, this is
The
a
idea.
1935 recording on Decca 748, and it's an original composition called Spring Tonic, original by Joe Mullendorf.
And now here's the flip side of the record, Riding the Reeds. As a point of interest, it might be well to be brought out that the bass solo is being played by my very good friend at whose home I am at this very moment, Milton Freeman. And his bass playing was at the time exception, unquestionably. He ran out of scotch right now and he's a miserable host, but without a doubt he was the finest bass player at the time.
Thank you, thank you.
We have segued from the year 1935 of the Carl Fried era to Cappy Barra and his harmonica, was it the harmonica?
Harmonica Ensemble.
Harmonica Ensemble of the year 1936. Our ensemble consisted of Nat Bergman, Joe Mullendorf, Sam Schechter, Leon LaFell, Phil Solomon, myself, Milton Freeman, my host. We were substantially the same. I think we were a year older and a year better. And you will hear in the interim of this record how we got the unusual name of Cappy Barra.
This record was taken off the air at the time, wasn't it?
This one was taken off the air. It was
broadcast.
NBC. We were commissioned for 13 weeks by the M. Hona Company to do a program for them, and this is one of the recordings that we were able to salvage.
Versatility seems to be the byword. For here's the Harmonica Band, Leon LaFell, and the Glee Club in a treatment of the hit, When Did You Leave Heaven? La da 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 da, ho 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 ho. When did you leave heaven? Why did they let you go? How's everything in heaven? I'd like to know. Why did you trade heaven for all these earthly things? Where did you hide your halo? Where did you lose your wings? Do they miss you? Can you get back in if I kissed you? Would it be a sin? I'm only human, la-da-da, but you are so divine. When did you leave heaven, angel mine? Now when did you leave heaven? Oh, why did they let you go? Da-da-da-da. How's everything in heaven? I'd like to know. La-da-da-da-da-da-da. Why did you trade heaven, oh, for all these earthly things? La-da. Where did you hide your halo? Where did you park your wings? Have they missed you? Have they missed you very much?
Can you get back in?
And you always get back in.
If I kiss you,
Oh, I wonder what you do.
would it be a sin?
I am only human, but you are so divine. When did you leave heaven? Angel mine.
You have a few minutes to listen to a story of how a harmonica swing band got its name. Well, one day a group of harmonica blowers were browsing around the zoo. Up to now, they've been very unsuccessful in finding a name for their newly formed orchestra. You see, they wanted a name that had a sort of a lilt to the sound, something swingy, as they put it. So through the zoo they walked, and all of a sudden, one of the group stopped short before a cage. They looked, they read, they understood. It was the cage of the little South American rarity, the Cappy Barra. And so, harmonicas to lips, they went gaily on their way, the now named Cappy Barra Band. And now, if you're waiting for more music, here it is, written by one of the boys, Joe Sands, and swinging under the title of Harmonica Ride. Ride, boys, ride.
Leon LaFell, who was a pal of Joe Mollendo's, right?
That's correct. They came from the same
Both came
town.
from Philadelphia. Leon, if I remember correctly, was, as you put it, a fair-haired boy.
He was indeed.
And I think for a short while, the boyfriend of Martha Ray,
That's
who went on to further fame.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Many of these recordings are originals, and in all cases they were, what's the word I'm groping for, arranged by Joe Mollendorf.
Unquestionably, they were arranged and composed by him, and these are all of his works. And matter of fact, all of our playings are actually his music. We're playing from his music and his arrangements, so to speak.
You know, I'd like to make a copy of this and send it out to Joe in Hollywood.
That would be wonderful.
Wouldn't that be something?
He sure would love it.
Don't we
Maybe
see
we
his
can do
name
that.
now? Don't we see his name as the...
And would we send it to Joe Sands and Carol?
No, not Joe Sands. He uses his right name now.
That's correct.
Joseph Mollendorf on the Dick Powell show.
Well, he'd love it.
Four Star Productions, is it?
Yes.
All right, now let's go further with music. Let's continue with this NBC air check. Take it, Steve.
And now we invite you to listen to the harmonies of Cappy Barra and his swing harmonicas.
My stardust melody, the memory of love's
Unique, modern swing by the Cappy Barra Harmonica Ensemble. For a matter of musical record, each of the boys, all 8 of them in the ensemble, read notes. Yes, sir, they have their own arrangements written out the same way as the big band. And if that isn't something to blow about, well, here's something that is. Rimsky-Korsakov's difficult Flight of the Bumblebee. so they're gone with the wind, if you don't mind the frivolity. The Cappy Barra Harmonica Ensemble, under the direction of Maurice Duke, has come to you in a Red Network presentation of the National Broadcasting Company, RCA Building, Radio City. WEAF, New York.
WEAF, New York.
How about that?
Oh, boy.
We're going back a little bit, huh?
Aren't we? Look here, you know, they haven't used those call letters. Must be 20 years. What am I saying? Anyway, let's go on now to some of the commercial recordings we made. This next one is on a Vocalion record, 3806. Recorded, was it again, in 1936?
36.
Leon will be the vocalist on Stardust, and on the other side will be Voodoo, an original by Joe Mullendorf, isn't
That's
it?
correct. And the arrangements in both cases are by Joe Mullendorf. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Very good. Let's take
Wonderful recording.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. That melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you. When our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. Oh, that was so long ago. Now my consolation was in the stardust of a song. Beside a garden wall, where stars are bright, you are always in my arms, la la, the nightingale sings his fairy tale of paradise where roses bloom. Though I dream in my heart it will remain my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. My stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain.
this is noted on the record as being the Cappy Barra Swing Ensemble. I don't remember it being called that. Do you, Milt?
Yeah. Swing was a big thing in those days, you remember?
Yeah, I imagine
Thanks
that's
to Benny Goodman, Kaz Lomer, and one thing or another.
Sure.
Incidentally, one of the numbers coming up here very shortly is the Kaz Lomer Stomp. Yeah. And we noted, Steve and I noted with regret just a few days ago.
Who's Steve? Who are you talking about?
My son.
Steve.
My son. Who else?
And your son, who
the
is
engineer.
the engineer for all this recording session?
Yes.
Well, we were going to come to him later, but I'm glad that you mentioned it now, because those who are going to hear this now are going to wonder who this reference to Stephen is. I'm glad you mentioned it at this point.
Well, he's a sound partner here.
Fine.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're not found.
I want to mention before you go ahead that this voodoo was quite a bit of thing. As we listen to it now, for its day, it was quite a magnificent piece of writing.
Rather modern.
Very modern.
Or as we would say, modern.
Modern.
Yeah.
Go on to the next
I was going to mention, sadly, in passing, that there was a passing, a euphemism, of course. Glenn Gray died a few days ago.
Yes, I remember.
What was it, about the
2 or 3 days ago.
of September, 26th of August, 1963.
That's correct.
He was a hell of a guy, if you remember.
Greatest, I understand, in this field.
Gee, an awful thing to have read.
And how we emulated him and wanted so much to emulate his style, as we did so in the record that you're about to hear, or going to hear following Solitude, his very famous Castle on the
Do you
Stump.
remember Glenn Gray was too tall? That's why he never led the band. There was a fellow by the name of Mel Jensen.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, Mel Jensen. A matter of fact, at one point when we were very friendly with him, Mel, who came from Cincinnati, was leaving the band, and Glenn Gray, despite his height, what was he, about 6'4", and they had thought all of those years that he was too tall to lead.
Nope, I'm ashamed to say I've forgotten too many things already.
Well, I'm a walking encyclopedia of trivia,
Facts.
shall we say.
No,
trivia.
Facts.
Mind you,
I have forgotten.
28
I
or
remember
30 years
playing with
later.
Glenn Gray at a jazz concert in New York City.
Oh, yes, the
And
Onyx
we
Club.
were the only harmonica band.
Yes.
Let's
This
talk
was
about
the-
that for a minute.
This was the Onyx Club first jazz, not jazz, first swing concert. By the way, you know who else was on that? Meadlock Lewis playing Boogie Woogie, which was 15 years before its time. And Albert Ammons was on that jazz program. Benny Goodman was on. I have a doggone thing in a beautiful program in my scrapbook.
I remember how proud we were to be on the same bill with these very fine artists.
In any case,
How proud we were.
yes. Well, someday I've been promising, Steve, how many years have I been promising you to open that Pandora box and show you the scrapbook?
5 times, but the last time must have been about 10 years ago.
At the very least. In any case, the reference made is to the swing concert on 52nd Street, which sadly, remember talking about it?
Jimmy Ryan's closed about a year ago.
Well, there was Leon and Eddie's, all of this is gone. I want you to say
Jimmy Ryan's just closed a little while
all
ago.
right, now what do you think
He
is in
just
its
died,
place?
by the way. He just died.
What do you think is in its place? Oh, London Park.
Hyman Life Building.
Yeah, progress.
Passing of an era.
In any case,
Time of our-
let's go on to the next number,
Right.
and we may mention something about the Casaloma Band when we come back to the Casaloma Stomp, following this next number, Solitude, on a master recording, 122, master recording.
Well, I didn't
That was
think-
Mills' music, by the way.
Mills, I think. That's
Yes,
right.
and
Still there.
Mills is still
That's
there.
correct.
But the master recordings, it was only a brief period of time when they made the 78.
Who was the singer?
Leon
The singer was
LaFell.
Leon LaFell.
He was our
Okay.
first
Let's go.
singer, of course.
In my solitude, more you haunt me with reverie of days gone by, baby, by. Solitude. Oh, you haunt me and taunt me, la la la, oh, with reverie I sit nice there, I know that I'll soon go mad in my solitude. Oh, oh, oh. More I'm praying, Lord above, send back my love. In my solitude, oh, more I'm praying, dear Lord above, send back my love.
Phil said wax nostalgic.
Yes, my good friend and host, Leo Freedman, will now wax nostalgic.
Without wax.
With the wax.
See, that was you know, Phil, that was a hell of a fun, isn't it? That's a hell of a schedule on the fun.
We can't really appreciate it until so many years after the fact. How really terrific it was.
It was good. It was great. Anyway,
Let's see.
goodbye, Glenn Gray.
God rest his soul.
And let's go on to something a little more cheerful. The next record will be Taken Off the Air.
Yeah, I remember.
This was phenomenal harmonica playing by George Fields in the lead. It will be the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. A very abbreviated.
But even so, he was magnificent.
There are only a few players today that I think can play the kind of harmonica.
Remember who composed the ensemble at the time, Milt? I know
I wasn't there.
And a couple of the old boys.
Yeah,
Magnificent.
you had Rick playing bass.
Yes,
I was at the last couple of years, wasn't I, by that time?
That's right.
The group is primarily the same. Nat, George, Sam, Leon, you were on it.
That's
and,
Rex was playing the bass at the time, and
Yeah.
George Fields, of course, was playing the lead, and what a magnificent lead.
well, today only Eddie Manson maybe could play it, or who else? Steve Toots Thielman. Phil's unfamiliar with the name, but this is...
No, I don't know these people.
I'll play a little something for you, Toots Thielman, and you'll see
Well,
what
maybe later, but
in any case,
this is for the archives. George, it was really top-rate virtuoso for
well, no, originally...
when this is 1941.
Yes. November the 27th. I have a label on this.
How do you remember these dates?
Well, there's a label.
That's magnificent.
In all modesty, of course I'm magnificent.
Engineer?
Well, now look here. This says, reference copy. No, naturally.
Date on the record.
It says November 27th, 1941, Cappy Barra audition.
How about
How
that?
did I get the record? I bumped into Sam Schechter. And he said, hey, look, this is after having been with the band for some years. You want a real good recording? Go down to NBC. It'll cost you $5, and they'll make you a copy.
Is that all?
Yes. And I did, and here it is. I had made a foolish mistake some years ago. I was loaning the recording to a friend of mine who was impressed by it. And he played it on his RCA phonograph. Magnificent beast in those days. With a pickup arm weighing no more than 6 ounces.
I can imagine the
So,
listeners.
incidentally, if you hear surface noise and click, it's because it has surface noise and
Yes.
click. It's been worn to death.
But I'm sure that even such as it is, it must be first rate.
May I make one other further comment, Phil? In many of the recordings that we've played, you'll hear an awful lot of distortion, and you'll hear a lot of surface
But
noise.
that's to be expected because of
Can't be helped. At the time, recording equipment...
This is 25 years ago.
That's right. Recording equipment at that time was primitive by comparison to what it is today.
Unquestionably.
And it shows its age. What can you do?
Nevertheless, we have captured for the archives what we could, and I'm very grateful for such as today.
Okay, so now let's play then the Cappy Barra audition of the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, a rather abbreviated and truncated
Wonderful.
arrangement.
George
But it's a
Fields,
terrific
soloist.
Okay, take a seat.
Exhibit B. This may be called an infringement on the rights of the violin virtuosi. The Cappy Barra Ensemble have condensed and adapted the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto for the harmonicas.
That was certainly playing at its very finest. Don't you think, Milt?
Oh,
It's
magnificent.
first rate.
By the way, you're very modest, Bill. In all of these recordings, incidentally, you have to play all the chords and set tempo and rhythm.
Wow.
And nothing has been said about your magnificent playing. This isn't the Mutual Admiration Society. Let's forget
Yes,
it.
I know, but
you're
the
the best.
background is my forte. At least I like to think it is. But since we're coming to the close of a very fine evening, I'd just like to say, Milt, and I think that you'll agree with me, that we've probably reached a stage of our lives when reminiscing has become one of the very few pleasures left to us. And it's been a wonderful evening reminiscing of the things that we've done some 25 years ago.
In our callow and misspent youth.
Not some misspent youth.
No, callow.
Very well said, to be sure.
Anyway, I hope
It's been a wonderful evening. I've enjoyed it no end, and I hope whoever hears this will feel likewise. Thank you,
That's it.
Milt.
Play this over.
The resume of the case of Cappy Barra Harmonica Gentlemen versus John Doe, the public. John Doe has claimed the harmonica is A toy, B, a train effect, C, a mouth organ. Here is our defense. Exhibit A, the 1941 model of Vincent Newman's T for Truth. Exhibit B. This may be called an infringement on the rights of the violin virtuosi. The Cappy Barra Ensemble have condensed and adapted the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto for the harmonicas. Pacific Sea. May we close our case with a witness from defense, a certain Sheets of Alaby, who prefers to keep his name anonymous.
Thank you.